Hi, I'm Shadi Guirguis.
And I'm Lena Guirguis.
We're here from FlexSpace Inc.
We are Richmond Hill's newest co-working space. Today, we're going to talk to you about being partners in business and in life and managing our entire family dynamic with a very vibrant 6-year-old.
This is Richmond Hill Business Insider.
Shadi Guirguis, how did you decide to start a business together?
Wow. We started by meeting each other at the gym, and you were such a good salesperson.
I was.
I could not help by saying, you know what, you got to be on my team. So I offered you a job.
We weren't supposed to be married, though, were we?
No. That was not the plan. How do you balance the demands of running a business and raising a child?
I think you would agree. Schedules, calendars, and recognizing that there is actually no such thing as balance. You need to do what you have to do when the time comes, right? So sometimes our child is sick, so that day there is no work getting done until, 11 o'clock when she's in bed. Other days you're up at 8 and you're working, and we might have somebody taking care of her.
It's like a balancing act. Each of us, including our child, has a calendar.
It's true.
And you stick to it as much as you can. Otherwise, you improvise. All right.
How do you divide responsibilities within the business?
That's an easy one. Take what you're good at and you leave the others to do the rest. So,
Hi, I'm others.
I guess the challenge is especially when you're starting a business, what a lot of the entrepreneurs don't understand is you are putting on a lot of hats. That's why a lot of them burn out.
We stick with what we're good at. Whoever has the time and the bandwidth. Because I'm home with our daughter, especially now, I do a lot more of the administrative work. He does a lot more of the field work. In the beginning, it was the other way around. I was the one who was full-time in the business because he still had his full-time job. Roles will change as the businesses grow and they develop, and find yourself in others.
How do you handle finances within the business? Aha.
That's a you question.
It's a me question because I like finances. I'm always in knee deep in finances. So it will vary from one person to the other. Ideally, you want to have the minimum coming out to you as a salary to support yourself and then work to get a high profits. And towards the end, there's bonuses, there is vacations. I should not be saying that.
Board meetings.
Board meetings. It's not vacations, it's board meetings. But the idea is you're not bleeding the business, especially in the beginning. There's other times where there is tough times, which even your salary is hard to pull out. So you have to make a decision where's that money going to come from. And your hardest part is probably your first 3 years.
Profits stay, profits get recycled.
Yeah.
Woo! Do you have any strategies in place to ensure that one parent is always available for the child if needed? So that is a non-negotiable for us. When we started working together and then started a relationship and, the discussions that you had, it was always a matter of making sure that when and if we have children, the child would feel like they are a part of the business versus, somebody who's getting in the way. One of us is always, always, always with Aria. We use childcare as minimally as possible, and childcare for us has only ever been a grandparent. We run businesses so that we have the freedom to be able to coordinate, manipulate, whatever word you want to use, our schedule so that she is always number one. Because mommy and daddy have these businesses, we're able to come to field trips and do all kinds of fun things with you that other kids can't because their moms and dads have jobs that they have to go to an office and somebody else is in charge.
Let's see here. How do you handle stress and challenge that arise within the business? You just goes through it. This is what it is. We just got to do it. And to be honest with you, a lot of the challenges you pass through by spending a lot of time to see and find solutions for it. We're stubborn, both of us, that way, so...
I'm not stubborn.
Yeah, not at all. The way I handle it is basically stay up at night when everybody's sleeping, no phone calls, no disruptions, and make a plan.
And I'm the complete opposite. I handle my stress through exercise, and then I shut down completely. And I'll take 24 hours, 48 hours to get myself refocused. When I'm in the insanity, I can't think. I have to remove myself from there. I have to spend time to just decompress.
One way versus the other, right? There's no right way, and I don't see that there's a right way or a wrong way. It's just how you make it work for yourself.
Yeah, but goal number one is to get yourself out of it, whatever that looks like for you. Oh, what advice do you have for other couples who are considering starting a business together? Nothing about running a business with your spouse is going to be equal. If you go in with the mindset that everything's going to be split 50-50 and we're both going to do our share and it's all going to be fair, you guys are not going to like each other. There are days where I will do 20% of the work and it looks like I'm on vacation and he's up 48 hours straight. And there are other times where he's now zonked out for 24 hours because he's pushed himself so hard and I'm the one who's doing it all. And as long as you have that understanding, then you're able to adapt and adjust with what happens, because sometimes life happens. My dad was sick and in the ICU for 6 weeks. I did absolutely nothing but go to the hospital and be with my father, and he took care of everything. There would have been a lot of resentment if the expectation was, even though this was happening, I should be doing 50%, and there wasn't. So I think that's the number one focus. And the second bit of advice that I would have is make it fun. Come home and complain to your spouse about the horrible people you work with.
Yeah, when you walk home, it says, can you believe my boss did this?
Honestly, right?
Uh-huh.
What have you learned in 19 years?
A calendar. Believe it or not.
It's true.
You know,
You've got to schedule time together 100%, because in that very first few years, the businesses will consume you, and that's okay. One other thing I remember, there's no right way. There's your way that's right for you. Don't compare yourself to other couples who are doing it, whose dynamic you think is what your dynamic is supposed to be, because those two people aren't you. I think the biggest indication that something's not right for you is the minute that you feel like you need a break from what it is that you're doing.
there's good, the bad, and the ugly.
Yeah.
Make it fun. If you're not going to make it fun, you're not going to last.
The minute that you're sitting there thinking, oh, good God, like, when is my next vacation? Time to reassess.
Do you involve your child in the business in any way? Absolutely. From when she was little, we actually have made a point to keep her part of the business. If we're holding a networking event, she's handing out the prizes and all that. When she was 2 years old, she was so interested into the printer and scanner that I got her to actually scan our documents.
We give her tasks that are going to give her a sense of accomplishment very quickly.
Patience is very important with your child.
Don't give them time-sensitive tasks.
No. So that's why we've always done it, at least for my case, on the weekend when I know I don't have phone calls. And it's okay, me, you, here is the scanner. Let's do it. Sometimes half an hour for 4 pages, but
Here we go. How do you keep the balance between your personal and professional lives?
when people talk about balance, they think it's a 50-50, and it's really not a 50-50. What we look at is more of the quality time that you want to spend. I rather spend 1 hour with my child and my phone is off rather than 3 hours and, I'm playing, but my phone is here on my other hand. It's just not the way. All right, what's the next question?
How do you handle conflicts that may arise between your personal and professional relationships? That horrible boss of mine, how do we handle him?
May the strongest person win.
It's the Hunger Games.
Put your gloves on and battle it out.
That's not true. So my dad gave us some of the best advice at our wedding. One of the things that he said was that women were meant to be loved, not understood.
What was it saying?
Happy wife, happy life, that one. The second thing that he said was, no matter what, never go to bed angry. Stay up, fight it out.
Put the gloves on.
In all seriousness, it really is just a matter of duking it out. Each of us have very specific roles in our businesses. It's important that we both respect those roles and understand that there are times where I'm in charge and there are times where he's in charge. That boundary needs to be respected the same way that it would be in any kind of a corporate environment. It works most of the time. Other times things get heated, and that's okay too, as long as there's an understanding that just because things may be not going so great, specifically that day in the business, it has nothing to do with you and me and our relationship and whether I like you as a person. I could really dislike you as my coworker. Oh.
And yeah, when a problem comes up, you don't provide the solution. Try to help the person, support the person to find the solution. Yeah. I can listen to an advice, but at the end of the day, she has a veto in her department. I have a veto in my department.
And yet somehow you managed to veto everything else. Huh? At the end of the day, he signs the check, so
That's why I like to be the CFO.
Oh, yeah, that's a big rule too for couples. One of you is a CEO and one of you is a CFO. One of you are designed and required to spend all the money that you can to make the business grow. And then the other one has to make sure that you don't spend all the money. That's where I think the majority of the conflicts occur.
That's correct.
I need to spend
You
money
want to
and you
spend the
want
money,
money.
so you don't have the money.
Oh, goodness. What has been the most challenging aspect of running a business together as a married couple?
Expectation.
Yeah, versus reality. So when we started our businesses, I was like 21 and I had this vision of like, ooh, we're going to be this power couple and we're going to do things together and it's going to be so wonderful and you're going to support me and I'm going to support you and we're just going to have this fabulous life.
It's like the Disney
Yeah.
movie.
In the beginning, I think it was really hard to not take things personally. So when something wasn't going well in the business or there was a criticism of what was being done within the business, it was very hard hearing it from my partner and not taking it personally as if like that's me, the person, and your wife that you're saying this about. And oh my goodness, how could you tell me that I'm not good enough? That was, I think, the biggest challenge for me, separating the fact that you could be very unhappy with the fact that I just spent, $10,000 on something you didn't want me to spend $10,000 on. You don't love me and we're doomed.
I guess it's because I did not watch Disney movies, so I don't have that.
How do you ensure that you are on the same page when it comes to important business decisions? Ooh, me.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, in our household, it takes many days. We literally sit and go through pros and cons of both sides. It could be something that you're very passionate about. When you start to talk it through with the other person, sometimes that person will ask questions that put a little bit of a damper on your vision, and it becomes a little bit tricky to manage the fact that this person is asking questions that are designed to help them understand, not to burst a bubble. We sit and we talk and we talk and we talk, and sometimes we have to take a break. We answer one another's questions. These are the pros, these are the cons. This is the worst thing that can happen. Are you okay with it? Yes. Am I okay with it? Yes. Do we agree if all hell breaks loose, we're not going to attack one another? Yes. Okay, then let's go.
Are we willing to do it, and are we willing to take the buckets and put off the fire if the fire happens? And if the answer is yes, we run with it.
How do you handle childcare and schooling for your child? Prior to school starting, we had a lot of help from the grandparents. We started school in the middle of COVID. I turned into a kindergarten teacher. Now she is in school. The way that we have found that it works for us, he gets her up and ready in the mornings so that I have a little bit more time. He drops her off for that kind of 8:15 bell and he comes into the office. I have some time to kind of get myself together. I show up around 9. And then at 2:30, I go and I pick her up. I take care of the after school portion of, feeding her and doing the homework and getting dinner and everything ready so that when he gets home, he gets to spend some time with her and then he does bedtime, which gives me some time to tidy up and get the work that I didn't get to do because I left at 2:30 done.
And that's back to balance.
Yeah, works for us. I hope you enjoyed our episode and getting to know us a little bit better. Hope to see you guys come out to FlexSpace Inc. If you do need any type of office space solutions, meeting space, boardrooms, event space, come and check us out. We're right in downtown Richmond Hill, just across the street from the Performing Arts Center. You can find us at flexspaceinc.ca. So come on out and join us for a day. I think we're crazy.